host, Erica Salter, the queen of teen. Please tune in
every single Tuesday.
This whole hour, Santa Barbara teen athlete.
Woohoo!
Yeah. And all those people and businesses that support those teen athletes. Woo!
Good morning, Erica.
Yes. Well, we're a little off this morning, but that's okay. Everybody had to fix their clothes. Why? You think we're on TV? What?
Instead of coffee this morning,
Yes.
I have my lemon water and chia seeds.
Good. that's a good. Dominique Hackett, you always add like these little words of wisdoms in. We have Dominique Hackett in the house. Yes, we have Lisa Black in the house. Of course, we have got our producer. We wouldn't be here anywhere without him. And I know we just got texted it. We're going to have Susan Westbury. She's on her way. She was in Montecito. Lots of traffic this morning. But she's going to be with us shortly.
She started this morning to get here from Montecito?
No.
Traffic is not that bad.
No, she came up from L.A.
From L.A. Well,
Lots of traffic.
Okay.
Lots of traffic. That's love right there coming up from L.A. So how are we all doing this morning, Miss Chia Seeds? It's kind of fun. It's kind of fun living with Dominique,
Chia
right?
seeds, yeah.
So she's always got some buds in her ear.
So
the woman. I'm like Dominique. I'm waving because she's got the wireless ones that I got her for Christmas, right? And I'm like, I'm always in a panic, and I'm like, Dominique. She goes, excuse me, I'm listening to Congress. Sorry. She's listening to Congress.
The day before it was the English Parliament about Brexit.
Yeah, okay.
Well, you were listening to the English Parliament, not U.S.
No,
because there's not much to listen to there.
No, actually, it's been kind of interesting in the U.S. right now. If you want to engage in the drama that's ongoing.
Oh, okay.
But the
laugh
English
track behind it and see how that works.
Oh, that's good. The English Parliament, I just get a kick out of there.
Oh, are they animated or what?
When they discuss things, you hear people in the background. You know, it's almost like you're at a melodrama because people are constantly commenting, and they are so complimentary when they speak to each other. You know, Lord Chancellor, all the titles and everything. And yeah, they're quite baffled because they're handling a current parliamentary situation that they have never experienced before in their history, where the people have voted on a referendum and their prime minister has not yet acted upon it.
Yeah. I like the one scene. There's one commercial that's been running about it on Sky News, which we watch out of the UK. And you've got, they're talking about it, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden, they cut to this one guy in Parliament. And all of a sudden, he takes a deep breath and says, "Division!" And I'm going, are you okay, buddy? You're going to have an aneurysm if you don't calm down. But I mean, they're polite, but boy, when someone's talking and they don't like what they're saying, oh my gosh.
It's very
just
animated.
Rumble.
Very animated. But it's a very quick-paced debate. And you need to be quick on your feet, have your facts and figures, and be prepared to debate issues. So I find it fascinating. So I just decided to, instead of having coffee this morning, I decided to heat up a little bit of warm water. I added a little bit of lemon and honey, and I added some chia seeds. And the fun thing about the chia seeds is you have to allow them to absorb a little bit of moisture because that makes them digestible. Mm-hmm. And so it's really nice to add them to the tea water because then that sort of breaks them down and they just slide down your throat. It's really easy to swallow. But it gives you, if you use 1 ounce of chia seeds, it gives you 4 grams of protein. So that's pretty amazing for an early morning drink to get calcium, magnesium, phosphorus, vitamin B's, and a little bit of protein and fiber. 11 grams of fiber.
I tried it for about a day. You got to get used to it. It's kind of ghoulish. So maybe around Halloween time I'll try it again. I don't know. It's a little different. I tried it once and I thought, oh my God. I actually spit it out.
It's just a little slimy.
Yeah, it was a little slimy. You have to get at us. I really did. I threw it. I tasted it. She gave it to me, and I spit it in the sink.
Most people do like a banana milkshake or something.
Yeah, you have to try it.
Yeah.
It is good when you blend it. You should try it.
I want to try it.
You will like it.
Yeah.
Somebody should tell you something before they throw it in your drink. That would be the nice thing to do. Give you
surprise.
No, not like that. I thought I was just drinking regular lemon water, not with something floaty. I know. Exactly.
Alive. The water's alive.
Last week, to jump on Mona sent us something. I want to further that with
fascinating.
the politics. Because we talked about voting last week.
Yeah.
And what I did when she sent this over, so I jumped on it a little bit, started talking to our friends, as you know. I was really shocked at the amount of... I don't like to talk about politics.
We're talking about voter registration and voter participation.
And I was really shocked at the amount of our friends... We tried to stay away from politics, that actually didn't participate at all this last election. And Dominique knows this. We voted for Trump, but for a lot of different reasons, and then we dropped it. And regardless of who votes and how you vote, I don't really care. I don't have a horse in the buggy. And when the last guy won, I'm a type of person.
We support our president.
We support the president, whoever he is. That's how we roll. Team players. That's how we're team players. That's how it is.
But focus on issues and discuss issues and support the changes that you want done.
Exactly. We don't push agendas. We want to be team players, like we said. But what I was really surprised at, and on the last election, I can't even tell you how many people that I just encouraged just to vote. Just to vote. Please just vote. Because I really realized the amount of efforts, especially if you're a woman, that the people have put forth.
I mean, the history in order to get the right to
just
vote.
for us to
That's
get to
enormous.
vote. So I really encourage a lot of people,
that right.
Democrats mostly, really, just to go out and vote for Hillary. At least 25, 30 people. Please just vote. Just vote for her. So that's what we did. But when this last week when Mona sent this article and let Dominique go through the content of the article that she sent, I just went back through and just through our friends and talking this last week, I was really surprised at how many people just didn't vote at all. Just didn't want to participate.
This article is saying that from the 1960s, that was kind of when we had the highest voter participation in the U.S. And from the 1960s to now,
where did this information come from?
This is coming from the Center for Civic Participation and also from the ASU. And it's actually a Pastor Center for Politics and Public Service. So it's using data that is the data source is the U.S. Census Bureau. So it's good data. It's not controversial
data. And Mona
data.
is the director of gift planning from Westmont College, a very, very close friend of mine.
Yes. And so, I mean, it says some things that we all know. The voting rates of blacks, Asian, and Hispanic minorities are typically much lower than non-Hispanic white voters. We've all kind of known that. But do you know who the largest voting population is? I was kind of surprised at that. 65 years and older. That's kind of interesting. And the voter group, which has the lowest turnout of any group, is 18 to 24. And so we were discussing the wisdom of whether we need to lower the voting age. And it's kind of interesting that, we're really missing the voice of the 18 to 24-year-olds.
To lower it to 16, I don't know that would help, because if you're not getting 18 to 24, what makes you think you'll get 16 to 18?
That's when I saw the data.
But see, I look at it different, because if we lower it to 16, then maybe we'll start talking about it at 12.
And again, I'm not saying don't.
Yeah,
lower
I'm just
saying,
let's just talk about it.
Look at the statistics and say, okay, so what benefit would lowering it to 16 really accomplish?
Well, maybe the schools will start talking about it at 12. That's
you
all
would
I'm
think
saying.
they would start talking about it in grade school, in civics class, and those kinds of things, which is even earlier than 12.
Well,
but
I'm kind of curious.
Yeah, good point.
Because a number of millennials that I've talked to who didn't vote, they said that their lack of voting was a protest, and that was their way of saying, "Hey, I'm not going to participate in a system that really isn't accessible
Isn't that
to me."
funny though? It's a protest.
Yeah, the lack of voting is seen as a protest.
It's not think about it. You're protesting, but that's not a way to protest. If you want to protest, vote. That's how you protest.
Well, Mona made a good point.
Get somebody that you want elect somebody. I would rather have you get somebody 18 and nominate somebody that you like of your age.
That you believe in.
Exactly, that you believe in, and get somebody 18 on the ballot, 18 to 24, and show that. Because if you got all of your people together, you'd probably win in an election.
So we're just saying
that's how you protest.
We're encouraging participation, however we want to participate.
You know, in sports, they always talk about certain records. Oh, that record will never be broken because blah, blah, blah. And they talk about, for example, in voting, in elections, that a right-hand candidate will never win. Never happen. Well, how do you know? Has it ever been tried?
Exactly.
No, it hasn't, because everybody says, because it'll never work. And another thing, going to your point, Erica, that I point out to the complainers in this case, on either side, okay, of the two sides, when the left complains, I say, don't you think that it's not their fault that things are the way they are, that actually it's your fault because you didn't get your people out to vote for your people who would go in and make the decisions you want to make? And to the right, the same argument. It's not their fault, it's yours because you didn't get your people out to vote for the people you wanted in office to make the decisions that you wanted. This is not on the other people, it's on you because you didn't get yourself and others of your like mind out to vote.
So maybe after the break we can talk about, there's another way of looking at this. And the approach is called, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right.
I mean, this is a democracy. So that means that a person's choice not to vote is their form of participation. So maybe we can talk more after the break.
Erica?
Let's do it. Lots of great commercials out there for y'all. Erica Salda will be back with more after these messages. We are back, and this is a Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I'm your host, Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in
every single Tuesday.
Yeah, all right. Explain it to me why non-voting when
if
you're
it ain't
or 18 and over and you can vote is a form of protest.
Participation. It is a form of participation.
Excuse me.
So here's the comments of the if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I'm not saying that I'm in agreement, but this is what they're suggesting, is that, well, the facts are many non-voters are not sufficiently informed. So do you really want someone voting who hasn't taken the time to properly inform themselves? And also, the low voter turnout may reflect that, hey, I'm happy with who is getting elected. They seem to be doing fine. So why should I bother having to vote, especially in California? I mean, it's a pretty much a Democratic state, and the Democratic leaders, they seem to be doing fine. So why do I need to come out and vote? So that's a thought. And then the third thing is that since voting tends to increase with age, you see that all throughout the U.S. history. Voting tends to increase with age. Well, then perhaps this means that more experienced and informed citizens are having the time to participate in elections and political conversations, and therefore our society is being guided by older, wiser citizens. So that is a argument for if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
And there's another part there. You're talking about lowering the voting age. To your third point, I would say, well, then maybe we should actually raise the voting age. Because if these people aren't going to participate, and again, this is just a dovetailing off of your third point, if they're not going to participate, well, then we're not going to let them participate until they reach an age. You've heard the age of accountability kind of thing? Same kind of thing. Until you reach that an age, I don't know what it would be, 24? 26?
At least 21.
20, oh, yeah. Where you've had enough experience, all right? And maybe that's part of the problem is the 18 to 24 haven't had enough experience yet. They haven't seen enough, heard enough, and so forth to be able to make an informed decision. Maybe that's part of the reason, in addition to the whole protesting thing.
Right. But I mean, part of this just goes to point to the fact that perhaps there's not enough dialogue at home, at the dinner table, where the parents are demonstrating leadership in their family of caring about at least local politics.
And you talk dialogue, you're not talking about, hurling your side against my side,
No.
my side against yours. That's not dialogue.
No, dialogue.
And unfortunately, right now, we don't have dialogue going on, and we need it back.
Yeah, so you can tell the difference between having a conversation and dialogue and the difference between sharing various stories. With a dialogue about commenting about an issue, you have data. And you can agree on the data or even disagree on the data, but you're talking about data, and then you're talking about what your opinion is of where that data is leading. So that's a discussion of issues. When you're really getting moved by a story, you don't have any data points. You just have a whole lot of emotion, and you have a narrative that's already been crafted, and that story supports a particular narrative. So that's kind of the confusion that's happening right now. We've lost that ability to go to the data points and speak with data, speak to the issues.
Yeah. I think that's part of the problem, too, is that there's even a controversy over where the data comes from. I mean, you quoted some statistics, voting statistics from what we would consider reputable, verifiable, and valid data points.
Right.
But is everybody going to agree that, oh yeah, those sources are good? This is where the problem is.
This is part of the internet
primary
age.
Source information is almost, in this day and age of cynicism, if you will, and skepticism.
Yeah. Whether it's politics or medicine, the same thing's happening. Yeah. It's really difficult in order to find the information that you're trying to look for on the internet.
Yeah.
Well, kids are going to have a lot to do and have a lot to say now with the legalization of marijuana. So it's going to affect them. It's going to affect them greatly because you're going to have situations now in school, now that marijuana is legal. It's going to affect education.
Yeah,
you're going to see it
big time.
Is it going to be okay for kids to be
high in class?
Yeah, that's going to be.
You are absolutely right.
Well, I'm just saying.
I just conducted an interview with a gentleman who has.
Can teachers be high?
Well, if the students can be high, the teachers should be high.
I'm just asking. I mean,
now you have a problem here. You have students and teachers high.
Yeah.
And then you also have this whole issue of problems with guns in schools, and they want to have teachers armed in some instances, right? Not when they're high.
Right. I'm just asking. I mean,
it's a valid point.
Yeah,
You're absolutely right. I interviewed a gentleman just recently who wrote a series of books on addiction, and we got to talking about that. Now, bear in mind, in the 1920s, we tried prohibition, and it didn't work.
No.
Okay, it did not work. So, to say no, you cannot, isn't a solution.
Correct.
And the other thing too that he pointed out between marijuana and alcohol, between opioids, which was the main subject of the interview, and alcohol, he said that opioids is an epidemic.
Right.
More people are dying from alcohol than opioids. So alcohol, and he even used the word semantics, he says, is a pandemic. So why aren't we dealing with that one in addition to or in front of the opioid problem? Because it's getting worse as time goes on. And then you throw marijuana into the mix, which is now legal in a majority of states and so forth. And my God, it's a real mess. It really is, and it's not getting any better. And education was the real focal point that he talked about. Educating people. Not saying don't.
Right.
Not saying it's
just
bad.
Education.
Just educating people.
Right.
And he told me, he said, I thought liver disease, that kind of thing, would be the main alcohol problem with alcohol. He says, no, heart disease.
Correct.
So these three elements are what are just destroying our society, but we refuse, because of the money issue, to do anything about it.
Well, we can do something about it. We can do something about it every day by participating with the people that we love in our life, whether it's our blood family or the family that we've adopted, having conversations.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we need to do. Talk about it. Let's talk about a break. Let's do it. This is Erica Salda. We'll be back with more after these messages.
Rebel, rebel, put on your dress.
We are back, and this is the Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I'm your host, Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in every single Tuesday. Let's do a little wrap up. We got some sports to talk about here. This is Teen Sports Radio,
Really?
you know. Yeah, we got to do some wrap up.
What a concept.
We had some great sport outings last week here. I'm going to go first, D, okay?
You got it.
Oh, yes. Okay, we had we had a Bishop battle. We had a Santa Barbara Don battle. We'll go Bishop first. Bishop had a nice tie. They battled, let's see, Foothill Tech, and they came back after 9 innings and tied up that. That was a nice. What they did is they ended up finishing up a 9-inning game, and that was nice. That's always nice to do a comeback and finish up in a tie. I love that.
What?
Go Bishop!
They didn't go extra innings?
They did do extra innings,
And
but
they still wound up in a tie?
and it finished in a tie. Yay!
Oh, they got to 9 innings.
I love that. And then let's see.
It's your sister.
I love that. Well, hey, late comebacks are nice though. And then Santa Barbara went away in the Arizona Pride Classic, and
What is that? The Arizona Pride Classic.
it's a tournament in Arizona, and they call it the Arizona Pride Classic. And they played this game out of Oregon. A team from Oregon, I should say, and it's called Clackamas. And we remember that we had the coach out here, Steve Shook.
Yes.
I love that guy.
Shout out to Steve.
Hey, Steve! Woo! Yeah! And it's nothing more annoying when somebody spanks you after the third inning and you're down by 10. And then, you're like, oh, what'd you do? You just pull your bill down, right? You're like, oh, God. And then you,
Just
play
one
with
out.
your beard, and you just rub it back and forth. And then all of a sudden you're looking around and you're like, Nick, get over here, Nick Oakley, right? And you just kind of look at him, and you just look at him, and you're going to go with those beggy eyes, right? Then all of a sudden with the full boat, and all of a sudden, what does Nick do? He just crushes one deep. That's what he does. And he's like, you look up. And then in the seventh, you get a couple more, and then all of a sudden it's 12-12.
Oh.
Yeah!
All right.
All right, and then you tie it up. So you run out of time, but so what? So Steve says to everybody, and he's quoted in saying he was very proud of how they never gave up. So
That's
that.
important.
When you're
That's
down by
important.
10, that's nice.
Yeah.
You got to like that. There was a game that I was in back in high school. And it was like in back east, when you play your first game in March, it's still slush on the ground. Okay?
Yeah.
And my coach, Miss Armette, she was brutal. And she didn't hear it. We didn't have any excuses. So after the first inning, I was the pitcher. This was in 10th grade. After the first inning, we were down 10-0. Okay. And the girls were big on my team, and we were. The first girl that goes in throws the glove. The second girl, we were dropping bad words, everything. And I'm the pitcher, so I'm the last one that walks in. And then Karen Scott was she was the shortstop. She just annihilates all the bats. Boom! She just knocks them all down. So I was the pitcher, so that doesn't make me the best batter. And I'm batting 9th. And bases were loaded. And the wind was torrential. You have to understand, it's March. It's Long Island. The weather is brutal.
Yeah.
We just had a winter storm, and we're starting softball. Okay, I mean that's just how it is. Okay,
Something wrong with that.
And it's slushy. We all have jeans on. Okay, and I just crushed one. My father is there. Okay, and my batting average is not the best batting average, but we are all just filled with anger. Okay, and it's probably the furthest one I ever had. And the wind it was so far foul, but the wind just, for whatever reason, blew it fair. And I had sneakers on. When I was rounding third, it was going to be the only home run that I would have ever hit in my life. And I just rounded third, and I wiped out because I fell in the slush. Okay, so she calls me black, and I'm crawling back. Okay, and I landed on third, and then we tied up the score because I'm batting, 9th or whatever like that. So at the end of the game, it was 25-10.
Oh,
Yeah, so that was like the best comeback game we've ever played in the slush. So and when we were down 10-0, it was just all errors.
Yeah.
Because we're just not used to playing in the slush.
Yeah. Well, just as it's really not right to be playing softball in the slush. there's really something wrong with Major League Baseball when they start in March. I still don't understand why, other than someone explained it to me. Well, they don't want to end up having the World Series going into November. I says, well, then why don't you start the playoffs and stop having so many days off between the series, and get it done, or get rid of the All-Star game. And don't mean that. Don't take offense there. But it's like, wait a minute. I've never known Major League Baseball to start before April 1st. There's something wrong with that.
Yeah.
But what are you going to do?
Yeah.
That's what they're doing.
It's a complete different.
Now I'm curious. When you slid out, I'm
East
guessing
Coast softball
in the slush,
West Coast girls softball are two different softball
you were
games.
soaking wet.
Oh, we're just mud pits.
And cold.
It's like freezing. But it's different. It's a different, you guys, girls softball, you play it like baseball.
Right.
Girls softball, we play like we hit home runs.
Right.
It's like we don't play like, you play girls softball out here it's like a small ball game.
Right.
Just
get a man or woman on base.
Right, man on base, and you bunt them over and everything. Like, no, you hit the ball.
You want to get it out of the park.
Yeah,
okay.
It's completely different. I mean, even the scores are so much different. It's just completely. We hit the ball. I mean, we pitch just as fast as you do. Just a different game. When I came out here, I batted first. When I batted back in New York, I was ninth. Mm-hmm. It was just different.
Yeah.
I was the best. I was batted. I led off. I was first. It was weird. Huh. It's completely different. It's unbelievable. I mean, just everything. Strange.
Yeah. Got any more sports for us? Any more scores?
Dominique.
Well, I wasn't going to pull the scores. I was actually going to pull an issue, and I wanted your comments about it. Yeah.
Here we go.
Do you think, we've interviewed a lot of kids in their high school sports and stuff. Do you think right now there is a trend of kids not doing high school sports, but doing club sports?
Do I think there's an issue? It's all going to switch. Honestly, I would say in 10 years from now, if not less, I honestly think that the whole structure of sports, I think the clubs will take over the high schools.
So the issue with that is what happens is the kids develop in their sport, but they don't necessarily get developed as an athlete. Because my memory of when I was playing in high school, we did drill team and I did track and stuff, but I had to do weightlifting. I had to do a lot of cross training, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm just wondering if the kids, when they get hooked into a club team, they're getting hooked into one sport at an early age, and they're not necessarily getting developed as an athlete, but they're just getting developed for that one sport. And the problem with that is their body doesn't develop quite the right way, and they're going to end up with serious injuries at an earlier age. We know kids that already have had shoulder surgery.
I agree.
Freshmen.
The CrossFit, I believe, which is really dominated by women. If I had a granddaughter right now, I would tell my sons to set my grandchild, either male or female, in a CrossFit program, because then they're you're working the whole body, more like rock climbing. Does that make sense?
Exactly.
And do it that way.
Yeah.
And then mind mapping, you know what I'm saying? Just mind mapping the sport, like gaming.
Yeah.
Gaming the sport. Yeah. And then CrossFitting. Gaming,
understanding the mental aspects of the game, as well as doing the visualizations of being a fantastic batter.
Visualization of the swing.
Yeah.
And then CrossFitting
for the body.
That's what I would do.
Yeah. So, it's really hard as a parent. You get going and you look at how expensive college is and stuff, and you see that your child has some athletic ability, and it's so easy to fall in that track of encouraging them to pick that one sport and go, baby, go. Go get that scholarship.
There's so much money in it, though, Dominique, and I think that the schools are finding out the expense it takes for each school to maintain the sports program is very expensive. So each child is being expected right now to
raise money to participate.
So, and then you have the B and C player I mean, if they don't play the club, so I think there's going to be a separation here real soon. So this way the B and C player can maybe play in the school, and then the club player will break away and play club. And that would be great. So this way the B and C player can play at school, and that would be great. And then the club player can go off and play club. And that would be fun, and this way more kids can play. Because that's what it's supposed to be about, having fun.
It is.
Because to have an experience to play on a team is wonderful.
Huge.
It's wonderful because that's why you have the boys club. And then
AYSO soccer.
AYSO soccer, and then you have the teams on the boys club. So each child gets to experience to be on a team. I think that's the name of the game.
Yeah.
You played.
I agree.
We all played sports here. Because if you look at where we all fall as in jobs, and women especially.
It's huge. The social skills you learn, the problem-solving skills.
You have your own company. You're an entrepreneur, Lisa. You have your own business. I mean, a lot of that had to do with, I'm sure, being an athlete.
Getting the confidence from being
an athlete. Being an athlete. You started your own business.
Yeah, somewhat.
Yeah. Well, you just didn't, you have to have your own self-esteem to start your own business. You don't work for somebody. You have your own company. You as well.
That's true.
Oh, Susan Westbury is here. Oh, drove all the way up from Los Angeles.
Hi, everybody. I just wanted to talk a little bit. I just went on this Strong Villages tour. I went to Ecuador. Ooh. And we went with a group of kids from Calabasas High School. Whoa. I was a chaperone. That's scary, I know.
Wow. Oh, my God. What was that?
But I thought this was a great trip because not only did they get to experience the country, they partnered up with Doctors Without Borders. So there was dentists there, there was doctors, pediatricians, and the kids were teaching skills like how to brush your teeth, how to floss your teeth to the little kids. They got to paint a school. So it really encouraged the kids to do humanitarian work. They got their credits for school. They got to see Ecuador, which was beautiful. They got to go zip lining. They got to go do all the things they would do on spring break. But they also had to do so many hours a day inside of, the clinic. They raised the money to go. It's a nonprofit. I don't think it was any more than $1,500 for 7 days. And that included all of their activities, all their meals, the bus that picked them up. And I just think that we should try to maybe put something together. Now, if it's the college kids, it's a little more detailed where they get to go and how long the trip is.
Right.
But it was a great experience for me, and I've traveled everywhere. And just the giving back to the community made you feel like you were part of that country.
More and more families are doing vacations where it is a humanitarian vacation, where they're going to another country and they're participating in some sort of a community event. I think it's so beautiful.
I think if we encourage the kids when they're young, or they're in high school or they're in college, because right now it's a requirement. They have to have so many community hours. I think it will become a pattern for their life, especially if they got enjoyment out of it. A lot of the kids were already pursuing careers in doctors, medical. So.
When did you do this?
2 weeks ago.
Nice.
That's why I disappeared. I was MIA.
You did this with your kids, or?
No, I did it with, where the office that I rent is that right next. I go, hey, what's going on? She goes, we're going to Ecuador. You want to come? I'm like, you sure? Why not? And she goes, you got a babysit or a chaperone. I'm like, oh, okay, let's think about this. But it was really great. I liked it a lot. I would do it again. So now I want to try to put together groups to go. Because I think it's a really great thing, especially for the kids out here. They're the exchange students that are here, and they need something to do in the summer. They're like, what are we going to do with them? Well, hey, we can go to Belize, we can go to India, we can go to Ecuador. There's all these different places that we can take them to. And they work with the churches. They work with...
This is the woman that knows me?
Yes, just this lady knows you.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm interested. No, I'm just
you are. You
let's take a little break. Back with more after these messages. We are back, and this is the Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I'm your host, Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in every single Tuesday. I just said I'd love to go, but I can't stay in a tent.
What our kids need to know, and how. So,
Oh, sorry.
I think part of the experience of kids and us knowing what it's like to be in these other countries is being a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah.
There's no phone service. You're not going to have the luxuries at home. No, I'm sorry.
Was there hot water?
There was hot water, but you need to know
uncivilized.
that everybody doesn't have it as good as we do.
Oh,
And they come home with a little bit more appreciation for what we have and how easy our life is compared to them. You know, they have to wash their clothes in a creek.
Yes.
They have to boil their water before they drink it.
Yeah.
You know, we just go and open up a
plastic bottle.
of water. No, there is none of that.
Yep.
So it was. I think it's a humbling experience for sure.
Whirlpool does not make a washing rock.
They do not.
Well, when you first walked in, I'm like, wow, you look good. You lost weight. She
There
goes,
was no chocolate. And no potato
Priorities.
chips. Priorities. But the food was excellent. They really very simple ingredients. No preservatives, of course, but very good. People are very grateful for everything. And you don't speak the language. But somehow between love and kindness, everybody communicates with each other.
That's
There is
beautiful.
no, I don't know, I don't speak that language. No, after a while, you just take their hand and lead them away. Kind of how I got married. You're coming with me now. Then I sent him to another person. You can have him. But yeah, it was great. I think I would like to organize some trips for the kids. I think they would really enjoy it.
So what was some of the comments of the kids like on their way home and stuff like
They
that?
slept. I mean, these kids were wore out between just helping, because you would be surprised these kids that probably have never done a dish in their life were now doing dishes and they weren't thinking about it. They had little kids around them that were like, they were taking them everywhere.
Aw.
And then they were zip lining. They were walking to waterfalls. They were not still 1 minute. There was organized. And I'm like, oh no, I can't do this. But you're a chaperone. No. But it's good because they were on a schedule. These kids were asleep. I think these are 17, 18-year-old kids passed out by 7 o'clock.
Wow.
Like, are they dead? But because they were busy.
They were busy.
They were lifting, they were building, they were painting, they were brushing teeth, they were zip lining. So it wasn't all work, but it was a great vacation. I want to send my kids next.
Nice. So you were gone for 7 days?
7 days, yeah.
7 days? Excellent.
It was nice.
And how long is the airplane flight?
I don't know. I took a Xanax. I took a Xanax and a big drink. I don't know. By the time I had my second drink and the other Xanax, I was there. Probably 12, 17 hours. I don't know. I remember people like, you're snoring. Please get up. But it was great.
Beautiful. What other country would you like to go to?
I've been to Belize so many times, because that's in the Caribbean. So I would go to India.
Nice.
I think India would be nice. They're going to go to Haiti too.
Excellent.
So
Excellent.
anywhere, as long as it's not, and it's safe there. They don't go anywhere where the kids will be in political danger.
Yeah,
It's all just people that are struggling.
Communities, building communities.
Building communities. That's why it's called Strong Villages.
Yeah.
So it takes a village to raise.
Beautiful.
I like it. I think we should all go. I'm not going to be a chaperone next time.
I'm up.
Somebody else can chaperone me.
Lisa, have you been to other countries worldwide?
I traveled Europe right after high school. It was a while ago, but yeah, went to a lot of areas in Europe.
I've been to other countries.
A lot.
I've been to.
Ureld. So
It's nice.
Spain. I mean, if you want to get into it, Spain and Paris, Greece, Italy. all over. Went for about 2 months, a year old with my best friend.
Wow.
Yeah, a couple
lucky.
years after high school. So, yeah, it was awesome.
I think traveling is how you learn.
Yeah, I couldn't do it now, like staying in youth hostels, but when you're, 19, it's like, oh, it was fun.
I actually stayed in a hostel in Cancun. I missed my flight. That's a long story. So I ended up staying in a hostel. I don't know why they dropped me there. They're like, oh, she's a little drunk. Let's leave her here. But it was amazing because I was alone. And it was like a lot of kids, a lot of people my age, and everybody was cooking. We went out for walks. The beers were $1, but it was Mexico, so that's probably normal everywhere. But it was great. I mean, if I had to travel alone, I would stay in a hostel because you're forced to be a part of the group that's there because there's no TV. Well, maybe just mine in Mexico, but you're forced to have. So I liked it. It was fun. I wouldn't want to do it for my serious trip, but like one night is good.
Well, you would always find fun.
Always fun.
That's it. It's never boring. It's never boring when it's with you. That's for sure. Let's take a little break. It's Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. We'll be back with more after these messages. We are back, and this is the Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I'm your host, Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in every single Tuesday. Well, of course, you drove all the way up from L.A., so I always like to give you the last little bit of a plug here. Susan Westbury, she owns her own business, does a little... Well, I'll let everybody know what you do. I'll let you talk about it because you're very, very generous in what you're offering as a co-host here on Teen Sports Radio. You have your own little credit card processing service, and very blessed on Teen Sports Radio. So I'll let you explain what you're offering.
Well, I'm a credit card processor. My rates are lower than Bank of America, Wells Fargo, because we're a direct processor. But if you mention Teen Sports Radio, I will be donating 30% of the swipe fees to a charity of your choice, not one we choose, one that you choose. It's a way of giving back, building our community. Just mention Teen Sports Radio, and the money goes straight to the charity every month. You don't have to worry about where's the money. It goes straight there. I think we should build strong communities abroad and at home.
That's beautiful. Woo! Well said.
So all we got to do is, you want to give how we get a hold of you, or?
Oh yeah, I'm still coming off the chaperoning thing. If you need to reach me, my phone number is 805-450-2382. 805-450-2382. Citywide Merchant Solutions.
Nice. I think we have her commercial up there right now. Yep. Yay! We've got a commercial. Yay!
Erica, thank you so much for donating all that airtime to our local community. It's so appreciated.
Aw.
And Dr. D, I mean, the commercials are beautiful. They're fun and interesting to listen to.
D smashes it out of the park. Thank you so much,
Have a lot of
Dr.
fun
D.
with
Yes.
a wide variety group of people that come in here. It's great.
Yes.
It's
yes.
great.
It's great. We have the positive. We have
The Positive Report.
Positive Report.
Yeah.
That was the last one that he just shot up there. It's really nice. On she's just a beautiful person. It's nice to know Renee, and she's just awesome. And then Lisa Black, of course. We have our own in-house esthetician. And stop looking at my eyes. I got like Nobley's. What are they called?
Melia.
Melia.
Yeah.
Stop looking at them.
I
Can you see
didn't
it?
notice them until you brought them to
See?
our attention.
Well, it's nice. I didn't. What is that? It's a.
accumulation of oil, bacteria, and dirt.
Thank you.
And it's right.
I know. It's I'm going to poke you with it.
Why there?
Well, I had one, and all of a sudden, I guess it was missing the other eye, so like it jumped or something. Well, we're going to fix it tomorrow.
I'm gonna fix you
You
tomorrow.
guys got
Yeah.
pain in it.
Yeah, it's going to hurt. No, it's all right. I told you that I have a new friend, right? Now I have you now. I'm so excited. Okay, next to my mom's in spirit. She's must be just looking down upon us because now I have the most amazing esthetician in Lisa Black, and then I have Qua, my pedicurist, okay, at Star Nails. on Caloreal. Qua is his name. I'm so excited. All right. And I don't like boast when I have somebody amazing like you. Okay. I don't really like, guess what? I have Lisa Black. Okay. But I am. So I am. And then I have Qua. Right? Have I stopped talking about Qua?
No, you're very happy.
I know. He had me at squishing my feet with the hot towel.
He cracked your tail.
Oh my God. It's crack a toe. Crack a toe. He cracked my toe. I haven't had my toe cracked since '88. Santa Barbara, we love you. Make somebody happy today. God bless. See you next week.
You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you